What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Soundhound. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what shorts are doing, and then aside from that, go over the massive news that Soundhound put out. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Soundhound is up 0.48%, roughly around 20 minutes left in the trading day, 1037 the low, 1096 the high. So Soundhound was able to successfully piggyback off of big tech's earnings, so Microsoft and Meta yesterday. So that was really what pushed it higher alongside the news that did come out. So I'll kind of talk on that in a second, but regrettably the broader market starting to drag it down, and that is because of this. So all those reciprocal tariffs are going to be taking effect tomorrow. Market doesn't like that clearly, so that's why it's kind of getting dragged down. Aside from that though, the data that did come out early this morning, so PCE, wasn't all that bad. So month over month came in flat at 0.3, year over year 2.6, and then also initial jobless claims came in at 218 versus a forecast of 220. So overall pretty good stuff. The year over year kind of did match as well, the CPI, so the market didn't really overly care. But in Soundhound's case, they did put out news. So Soundhound AI and 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧, if I'm saying that right, partner to power the next generation of AI-powered drive-thrus. So in reality, this is exactly what people have been asking for. Good old McDonald's. So this partnership between 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧 and McDonald's did start in 2022. So it looks like August 11th, 2022. So this is, again, exactly what people were wanting. And I know that there was a lot of connections for more UK McDonald's and whatever else, but this is a US agreement. So essentially this is like massive, underline massive for Soundhound. Regrettably, if I was Soundhound, I would have actually put this in a better format and somehow included McDonald's in the title, because that is where a lot of people, like, no offense to a lot of investors, but I think most people don't have the patience to actually read a couple paragraphs in. They just look at the title and just say, okay, cool, sounds good. This doesn't say McDonald's, it's not that big of a deal. But in reality, this is like a massive, massive deal. This is something that, since I've been covering Soundhound, people have been speculating and have been hoping for. So now the time comes and it barely gets a little bit of a blip to, what was the high? Yeah, 1096. So at the end of the day, I think that this does and is a testament to exactly what Soundhound is doing. And if you want a good deal, then yeah, take advantage. This is definitely a good buying opportunity because, like I mentioned, this is exactly what Soundhound is all about. And now that they got not necessarily McDonald's, but I guess indirectly, that's a pretty good thing. Let me know your general thoughts on that on the comments below. And just a vague research from this deal between 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧 and McDonald's, I believe it is a 10-year deal. So it is fair to assume it'll be up to 2032. So again, if Soundhound and this 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗡𝗖𝗧 is able to kind of keep their standing in good position and whatever, then Soundhound should kind of benefit through this as well, even more. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. And if you did buy this news, or is there something kind of holding you back? Is it macro fears? Is it what Powell mentioned yesterday? Because I think the broader market is still somewhat worried about all the warning signs that he kind of did state yesterday. But aside from that though, shorts aren't doing all that much. And again, for those of you that kind of watch my channel every day, you would know that shorts not doing all that much is a kind of indirect sign that, hey, this is actually good news and essentially should be a lot higher. But right now, shorts are increasing 184,000 shares. 34.2% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 123 million shares overall are being shorted. And that does work out to be $1.28 billion. So kind of interesting to see. As far as what short's been doing, they did start out a little bit stronger and then they've been kind of returning. So it looks like at its peak they were increasing 1.7 million. So that's why clearly it did get hit a little bit lower, because they hit it just to kind of suppress this momentum, and unfortunately it appears to have worked. But aside from that, looking at the options, 4.08 million in calls, 1.1 million in puts, 49% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. And again, if you believe in what Soundhound's doing, I think options might be a good route for a like return on investment type of standpoint. So for those of you that don't know options, highly suggest in taking some time to actually research it. Very, very profitable and beneficial in many cases. But from a bull standpoint, there is a consensus for it to be kind of around that $12 range by this Friday, so by tomorrow. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub 1050. And the fact that we are pretty much there goes to show that there is a lot more upside. With tomorrow being Friday though, just take note of this. This is all the open interest. So you have 8,000 at that 1350, 7,000 at that 13, 5,000 at that 1250, 10,000 at 12, and then 5,000 at 1150. And given where we are at, there's no strong walls whatsoever. So just keep that in mind going into tomorrow. But with it at 1045, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 1022 is going to be a strong support. 1096 is going to be the key pivot. So the next strong target / resistance. And conveniently, that is also the high for today. So on a technical standpoint, it did bounce off of that. And this is usually why you see some level of consolidation. So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on that. But even aside from that though, you're seeing a lot of big transactions occurring on the dark pool as well as secondary market. It is just rather unfortunate that this epic news did come out on a relatively crappy market day. Hopefully Apple, also I believe it is Amazon and what was it, Coinbase, those three are unveiling the earnings this after hours today. So maybe that might be kind of the saving grace that the market does need. But we'll just have to wait and see, just enjoy the ride. Aside from that, there hasn't been any new analyst ratings, no articles really talking about it. I do anticipate once people kind of piece 2 and 2 together and actually read the actual PR, like 3 or 4 paragraphs down, then they will be like, hey, McDonald's, this is epic. So maybe some new analyst ratings will come from that in the next little bit. Aside from that though, on a technical standpoint, you are starting to see it break down. Luckily enough, it is bouncing off of this super trend, because if it does break below that, then that does mean that you are going to have more algorithmic trading working against Soundhound. So that is sitting at 1045. Regrettably though, it is below currently that 50-day moving average and also 200-day moving average. So the next kind of saving grace is going to be 989, and that is that 100-day moving average. So even though they do put out epic news, and Soundhound, in my opinion, is somewhat exempt from a lot of those tariff fears, it's still going to get dragged down. So for those of you that like Soundhound, take advantage. Buy the dip, do whatever floats your boat. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, so do whatever floats your boat at the end of the day. So let me know your thoughts on Soundhound. Like I said, I think this is epic news. This is what people have been waiting for, but you don't really see all that much in price action. So give yourself a shout out if you did buy or if you sold. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.